What about Denmark and all those little islands? Ugh.
Well, I like Iceland because of Björk, so because I like Björk, so.
Iceland's a lot better than you, though.
Yes, yes.
All right. Oh, by the way, we're live and have been for about 10 seconds. Hi, everybody.
Okay, hello, everyone.
Hi, motherfuckers.
I'm eating lunch while I'm on break.
Cool.
Cool.
So, welcome
So,
to...
I just want to open the podcast by saying, "Shut up, David."
For the podcast audience, you should really come to the YouTube live streams and check out the live chats because most of them are still saved onto the YouTube videos, like on episode 106, where David said McDonald's should have a fuck you meal in honor of Tom McDonald. So,
well, I think so. I think that's absolutely correct.
That makes sense. That's reasonable.
Had a farm, E-I-E-I-O.
And he told you to fuck yourself, E-I-E-I-O.
Never heard that before. Fuck you.
Hi,
Isaiah, how are you? Never met you before, and I'm calling you first thing.
All right.
Well, I'm black and
PG
autistic.
rating 13.
I'm black and autistic, so nothing can insult me, you know.
Challenge accepted.
No.
Isaiah has come from, I want to join the military to fuck the police in 2 months. You can't offend him.
I wanted to join the Air Force to be an astronaut. I don't know about anything else.
I know.
Because I wanted to get... Oh, well, I'm taking film school now, so...
That's cool.
Astronaut to filmmaker. I approve.
Well, yeah. I approve too.
I mean, you'll have to kowtow to the Hollywood elites, but...
How do you explain Stanley Kubrick? I'm just kidding.
I was going to say...
Oh, are we super gay again?
You are super gay. All right. So, welcome to the Alchemy Bench. As you might have heard, we have Tom and Julie and Mylin.
Hi.
And we have Jonathan and
Hello,
Isaiah.
motherfuckers.
Isaiah.
And there's Mylin with me.
I've been called Israel before. Someone called me Israel.
You look Jewish.
Do I?
Well, Jesus was a brown-skinned person as well.
If he existed.
Well, Sammy Davis Jr. could be a Jewish person.
Well, I've been called Israel. I've been called Ilea. Like a computer-like voice called me Ilea one time.
It's a silent S. I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, your name isn't that difficult.
Think of Isaiah Thomas, the basketball player.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, but who watches basketball? Kidding.
White people?
What's written in the
Not me.
pub is after Jonathan's name?
He, they.
Oh.
I put my pronouns in. I did that for like I used Zoom for a social a Democrat Socialist of America.
Yeah, I see it at the bottom of the screen now. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for the Democratic Socialists of America queer and feminist happy hour meeting and stuff like that. And it was just like, but it was right after Social Justice Alchemy, so it still said Summer and the Geek. So it's just like, oh wait, let me change that to my name actually.
I wouldn't bother because John would change it anyway. So
yeah, if he wants to, yes.
Yeah, look what he put in.
Yes, I see.
And that was right from the start. Before I don't think you'd done anything to him.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
All right. And now let's go ahead.
David.
Let's go ahead and thank our patrons.
I do want to ask a question. How old do you guys think I am?
22.
28.
Okay.
Is it the quoi?
16.
The gay?
I am 27. So you were closer, Random Geek. I'm 27.
But he went over, so Price is Right rules.
I just look 20 because black don't crack. So
yes, that's true. Actually.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
All right, let's go ahead and thank our patrons. We have Justin.
Thank you,
Justin.
And Marty.
Thank you, Marty.
And Ailey.
Thank you, Illy.
And Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
A couple of fuckers named Mehmet and some random.
Who cares
Thank
about
you,
that?
fuckers.
And then Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
And Von Reck.
Thanks, Von Reck.
So let's go ahead and start off with some downer news that I just heard about. John Lewis.
Yes.
U.S. representative for Georgia's 5th Congressional District. Just died recently. He marched with Martin Luther King, did a lot of sit-ins. He worked with the Freedom Riders. He was influential in the civil rights movement before going on to serve an important role in continuing to fight for black rights in Congress. And who knows if he went full liberal after that. All I know is that he did a lot of good work.
I want to add something. This may be a little weird, but doesn't he look like General Akbar from Star Wars?
Yeah. Not full face, but in profile or 3/4. He looks.
Yeah. I know. I was kind of cautious to bring it up because that's kind of goofy at a time like this. But I was thinking he looks like it's a General. Yeah, General Akbar. It's like. Then again, he was part of the resistance, so
yeah.
Well, he has noted that a lot of this stuff is a trap, so
right.
That fits. That fits.
White people set a lot of traps. That's what we do.
That bear traps, ant traps, wasp traps,
man traps. Occasionally,
we love our wasps. We really do.
You guys should do trap music.
There was so much pun in that little interaction that I just want to go vomit right now. How dare you?
So is that it from you, John, about John Lewis? Any other?
Yes.
Okay, so because other serious news, Julie doesn't know this, but the last couple of nights, at least Thursday night or Friday night, Thursday night,
Portland,
Portland. And so what has happened is that I think it's an executive order. I have the New York Times article open. You can get some information on the federal agents arresting Portland protesters. This against the wishes of the mayor and the governor of Oregon, and the Department of Homeland Security director has said that because of graffiti and breaking of windows and destroying of monuments, as it were, probably the reason why the title for today's episode, George Washington's Teeth, the federal agents, not with any insignias on them, just armor camouflage you can buy at Army surplus store, essentially, have been arresting protesters, putting them in unmarked vehicles, and then taking them somewhere. One that though I did manage to get released is that didn't realize until after the fact they were in a federal building and never was Mirandized, didn't gave their rights or anything like that. It just was taken there and was questioned and then eventually released. And that's what's happening in Portland.
Sue them. Sue the fuck out of them.
Yes, we probably should.
Motherfucker having so much power. I thought there were safeguards that prevented the president of the United States from having.
Yeah, it's called posse comitatus, and
power.
It only applies if you care about the rule of law, which the Republican Party does not.
Yeah, it's only laws, Julie. It's not something that's important to Americans.
Well, let me ask this question.
Okay, so I have another question.
Sorry, my bad.
Okay, Isaiah first.
Go ahead, Isaiah.
Go ahead, Isaiah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I was saying, well, then what about all the rednecks with the guns and the flags during the COVID? What about them? Do they get
How are we
taken
supposed
away?
to tell the difference between being kidnapped by a random white supremacist and being kidnapped by an official white supremacist?
Yeah. In fact, there was I saw two sets of films yesterday. One of them was these camoed up, all brown, desert camo in the city.
In Portland.
There are deserts in that region if you
Federal
go further east.
Taking people off the street into unmarked vans and driving away without having any badges, giving any information about who they were, without Mirandizing. Well, we couldn't see them Mirandizing. I suppose, but they without giving any reason for the arrest or the detainment, whatever it was. I saw, the Desert Camo folks, and I saw another one with people that were just dressed like Boogaloo, jeans and military surplus upper body, weight bearing, load bearing upper body equipment, and just putting them into the same kind of unmarked vans. And if I had a weapon and I was a friend of somebody who was being detained that way, I would consider shooting that fucker who is detaining my friend, because these people had not identified themselves, and it looked like they were in the middle of a kidnapping.
Someone explain to me why they need the Hawaiian shirts for the Boogaloos. What is that? Is that just...
I've not seen do they wear Hawaiian shirts?
There's that's what they say, that they wear Hawaiian style t-shirts or button-up shirts, which is so weird.
Well, it might be one part of Boogaloo, because apparently Boogaloo is a wide-ranging philosophy, and even has some left-wing adherents that are not, the fascists. So I don't know where.
Wikipedia says it's a loosely organized American far-right anti-government extremist movements.
But I've also heard people talk about left-wing people that are using Boogaloo-type tactics and calling themselves Boogaloo. So I don't,
I think
Boogaloo is our culture and heritage. We have to reclaim it, I guess.
Well, I think they're all united. Like, they're united under the idea of overthrowing the U.S. government and having like crypto anarchist society, I guess, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
well, that could have a variety of political sides to it.
Or they go there to appropriate the Black Lives Matter protest by causing problems.
Yeah,
they do that too.
Yeah.
So
which helps the right wing narrative.
It sadly does. Then again, it's like the right. It helps the right wing narrative. They will spread that narrative regardless anyway. Because like uprising against the government or against the Republican government is bad.
Well, look at it this way. So, know the word thug, right? It's actually an acronym for the hate you give, and so if you look at the COVID-19 protests with the people with the guns and screaming at the cops and demanding to like storm the Michigan courthouse where the governor is, and then so there's one violence here, which is right-wing violence, which is more acceptable, I guess. And then you have, like, let's say some extremist parts of Antifa who are causing riots, and there's other violence, but it's like one violence is helping another violence. It's like, it's like we can be violent too, because you guys are being violent, demanding to kill Governor Whitmer. So why can't we be violent? We want freedoms too. We're dying by an authoritarian government, and you're out there bitching you can't go to the beach. So I think our problems are more worse than yours. Not everyone. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Just to clarify,
that never happens here.
Thug might be used sometimes as that acronym. It actually has its origins in Hindi.
Yeah,
in India. Traveling robbers and murderers. The thuggies, yeah.
H is silent.
This is like a rap. This is like a Bone Thugs and Harmony rap song. Just thought about that.
Yeah, I can see that working. And so, to change the topic a little bit, it's not that it's depressing news, but like it has happened earlier this week in like Twitter. But to explain it, yes. Okay, so yes, Angela Davis. It's weird. It trended on Twitter for a little while. Angela Davis endorsed Joe Biden. Let me explain, because this happened from a Democracy Now! Interview from like over a month ago, and then just like started trending a little bit like earlier this week. Basically, it's kind of like she still doesn't endorse like both parties, but however, in this time, to vote for harm reduction, it is kind of important to vote Trump out of office, as it were, and that sort of thing.
Your country is never going to get out of it.
Yeah, sadly.
I'm waiting for
rhetoric,
AOC.
It doesn't work. Lesser of two evils is what put you in the position you are now.
I'm waiting for AOC to get up there.
Yes.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Ilhan Omar. I like her.
Yeah.
That would be that'd be wonderful if we could elect somebody like that to the national office. That would be.
She wasn't born in the U.S.
Until we change that, if we can.
Yeah, and also she's a Muslim, so that may piss some people off.
Which is why I like.
There's no law against it.
True, no law against. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you're welcome, Phoenix. I'm not polite to make you feel better. I think it's important that we be honest with. I don't know. I hope Biden will win, truly, but
Biden is chemotherapy.
I also know it's not going to fix anything.
Well, it will. It will fix. It will fix some things.
No.
Well,
for the middle class.
Beg to differ. Beg to differ.
For the white middle class, able-bodied middle class, maybe.
He'll probably roll back some of the worst things Trump has done. He won't charge Trump as the war criminal and genocidal monster and various other kinds of criminals he is. But
well, Obama didn't charge like George W. Bush for his war crimes either, because Obama also went on to commit his own war crimes as well.
Yeah. Whatever. Do what. I'm not American. I'm not going to talk about it more. But
the Democrats are chemotherapy. They're toxic, but they're slightly more toxic to the worst among us.
It's kind of like, do you want Love Canal toxic or Chernobyl toxic? You know.
Yeah.
I'll take Love Canal. Thank you.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's do you rather have like a shot in the leg and a shot in the head? So I guess I'll take the shot in the leg.
But then you can die from both.
We need a shot in the arm.
Yeah,
we need a shot in the goddamn arm.
But what you don't understand is you keep on saying you're okay with being shot in the leg, so
yeah, I'm
not going to stop shooting at you. You can do shit with metaphors too, okay?
Well, in France, you can just have a riot and overthrow the government. We've done it before, so.
No, France. We're numb now.
Mm-hmm. Well, another thing.
We're not guillotining the motherfucker. Anyways.
Yeah, but besides, go ahead, Tom.
Julie always has the very best answers for everything, and it's always the same answer: guillotine.
But the
guillotine the motherfuckers.
Guillotine.
Guillotine the motherfuckers. I mean, it works.
And remember, it's only 120 days or so until the election. Shit is happening right now, as we already mentioned. And also, even after, like, if Biden does win the election, Trump is still in office until January. So if Trump is doing horrible things against our civil rights, like with the events we just talked about, I think we gotta like do something more immediate than just vote him out of office. So
well, yeah. I'm actually worried that either he's gonna like because his supporters are fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid that they may like do something. I've always stated, should I buy a gun? I don't know. No.
You're black. They will kill you right away, immediately.
I'm gonna defend myself. I don't know.
Well, they'll kill you for holding a wallet. They'll kill you for holding a toy gun. They'll kill you because they think you might be reaching for your wallet. I mean.
There was that group of 100 black men that were carrying weapons in
Stone Mountain,
Atlanta, was it? Or in
I think it
by
was
Stone
around
Mountain.
Stone Mountain.
Stone Mountain, yeah. and I don't think they got busted. Of course, there were 100 black people with weapons, and I suspect that got a little bit of respect from the cops.
Yeah. Well, it's brinkmanship. It's like, we're not going to make a move unless you make a move. So it's.
Yeah, but if somebody shoots off a firecracker, all hell breaks loose, and black people get blamed for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're coming right for us.
Mm-hmm. It's and that's actually an interesting thing about like Atlanta and Georgia. Atlanta is instituting everyone wear a mask. The governor of Georgia wants to sue Atlanta for doing that because the mayor of Atlanta is like progressive, or at least more progressive than the conservative governor of Georgia. And
Shut up, David. Sorry.
You're not sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not cutting Jonathan yet.
She actually went to FAMU, actually, which is cool. The mayor of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. She sounds pretty cool. Yeah. And so that's happening because like again, there's like even with like the terrible cases of like a number of increases of like states with like red states that have with high counts of like COVID-19 cases, new ones, and that's so scary. Even my state, Washington State, has like a lot of cases, which not surprising with like east of like Cascades is a very red state. And these. It's just like we should all wear masks when we go outside, practice social distancing, stay at home if we can, do all that. And yet there's a lot of people that just like it's just like, no, I want to reopen the economy, but because we reopened too soon, we have the spike in cases. Not the protests of BLM, because most people at BLM had their masks, were outside, and were practicing social distancing as much as they can. But it's like those conditions didn't really like contribute to the spread of the virus, but being like, say, indoors in tight spaces, eating and drinking like at a bar, that contributes highly to the spread of the disease, because like it's those projectiles, the tiny little bubbles from your mouth where that virus can just ride onto like other people. And you touch your face and you touch your hands, and then you're not washing it, and you touch your mouth. There you go.
I don't go to bars or clubs, so I could give a fuck less.
Yeah.
My opinion.
The only thing Americans are sharing are miasmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. According to Tavi Wolf in the chat. Hi, Tavi. I can mention something in good news like afterwards or at the end of the broadcast that Tavi and I did over the last weekend. But according to Tavi Wolf, Kemp is still a illegitimate governor who got in by using his power as Secretary of State of Governor to purge voters' rolls and sabotage access to polling stations to suppress especially black voters. I remember hearing about that. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
What's new?
Yeah.
Republicans stop people from voting. What a shock.
Now, Julie may hate when I say this, but I did go to the only club I went to was a gay bar, and that's because I'm not a frat guy, so all the other bars in town are just terrible. So I went to one simply just to hang and just not, I don't know. So I didn't want to feel like I like culturally appropriated something.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, if they accept you at the gay bar.
You can go to gay bars.
Yeah.
Well, I know gay people want like a place to themselves to be themselves.
No,
So.
you want a place where they aren't
Harassed
by straight people. If you don't go there to harass them, it's
Yeah.
research job.
I wanna take you to a gay bar. I wanna take you to a gay bar. I wanna take you to a gay bar, gay bar, gay bar.
Gay Bar by the Electric Six.
Yeah, Mylene knows it. You didn't hear her, but she was singing it.
It opens with three men dressed sort of like Abraham Lincoln with really oversized stovepipe hats, and then the overcoat and so on, and then hot pants. Booty shorts.
Yes, I know what hot pants are.
So, John, you are able to braid your beard now.
Mm-hmm.
Finally.
But you're lazy right now.
You finally look good.
Oh no, this is actually braided. It's just harder to see with the camera.
Yeah,
And
but
also-
it's not the two braids. You
Oh,
have to
no.
work
No,
on that.
but
You,
the one
you got to
braid
get
is
them
cool.
even, man. Yeah, 2 braids is the way to go.
Okay, Jordan.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Devil horns and the rainbow flag. Rainbow.
Yeah.
The gays stole the rainbow from the Christians. That was ours. God gave that to us.
I
God
thought
gave us everything.
I thought Skittles gave it to us.
Mm-hmm.
No, Skittles
that's
let
what-
us taste the rainbow. We couldn't taste it before the Skittles came along.
Okay, I see.
It tastes a lot like sugar.
You know, I've seen rainbows, and it's like, is there a pot of goat at the end of it, or is that just my imagination?
That's racist against the Irish.
Okay, my bad. Okay, sorry.
I'm part Irish. I'll let you. I'll grant.
Remember, the Irish
that.
were slaves
I'll let
too. You
into
have
that.
to be careful about the Irish.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You know, you know what I mean? So, would that make Lucky Charms racist?
Oh yes, very racist.
Okay.
Yep, every year on St. Patrick's Day, a bunch of drunk Irishmen get together and just burn lots and lots of boxes of Lucky Charms. Mm-hmm.
So those are the real Irish, and not the people pretending to be Irish on
definitely,
St.
yeah.
Patrick's Day.
Mhm.
Yeah, because on
Pittsburgh,
St. Patrick's Day,
Chicago, Boston, a couple of neighborhoods in New York, just piles and piles of burning Lucky Charms.
yes,
It
exactly.
burns very, very quickly. It turns out they're mostly
Can
gasoline.
we just stop listening to John?
No, well, the thing is, like,
And
yes, on
talk
St.
about something else?
But the thing is about St. Patrick's Day, which we did not have this year because of the things. Everyone pretends to be Irish except the Scottish. The Scottish are always Scottish.
Yeah,
Well-
it is weird when a lot of Americans who aren't Irish celebrate. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I usually don't care because I don't want to.
Yeah, culturally appropriate. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to be the moral police, but it is a little odd.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, Irish people hate it too.
Mm-hmm. This is an excuse to go out to the bars and drink green beer or just beer with food coloring in it. Viking Rainbow 2. Vikings and Rainbow 2. Tom,
We
you wanna-
killed the rainbow. We stole the rainbow from the Irish.
Well, I've always wondered why like anime like took off with a lot of white girls. Like, what was that cultural appropriation? The weeboo thing?
Probably it was because it
there
was one of the
were-
only genres that appealed to girls without being rainbow bright.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, they were kind of targeted by that market. That makes sense.
Well, yeah. Well,
Anime are produced a lot to be exported in Europe mostly,
mhm.
and well, mostly that was true 30 years ago, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Girls of Versailles and
The
stuff like
Americas are more likely these days, I guess. But yeah, if you ask actual Japanese people if they are mad that Scarlett Johansson to play a Japanese character, they don't give a shit.
Right, because like they have they
They're
already
not
have
the
a
people
bunch
who
of
are important to that question.
They have their own cinema,
Yeah.
film, television culture thing going on.
No,
Yeah.
but also,
Japanese Americans have
Japanese
far
culture
less.
is weird. They were allied to the Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
Not
And
thing. I
They're
mean,
yellow Aryan brothers. Yeah.
yeah, white supremacy is very big there. So
yeah, not surprised.
yeah.
Uh,
So,
well-
anyways, I forgot the subject of the conversation. So just
It's Isaiah asked like, is it cultural appropriation for like
no,
white
no.
girls?
I know, but I don't know why.
Well, let me explain. So I went to Tallahassee Comic-Con like a few years ago, And there was this like white girl that was there who got really annoyed that you mispronounced her anime name wrong. And I was just like, but you're not even Japanese, so what? Why? Like, all right.
I can explain, or at least somewhat. It's like when I started going into my weeaboo phase of like watching anime, I got into my head, just it developed in there that what Japanese does is better than what America does. And so, yes, despite not being Japanese, I hold like Japanese media to a higher standard than like American media, as it were, which is why I would say that like Avatar: The Last Airbender, produced in America, even though it's drawn in Korea, but that's because of labor thing. It's good enough to be anime, and yes, that sort of thing. Now I really don't care.
The cartoon, not the movie. Okay, I was
the cartoon, yes.
There.
Oh, I remember. My point is that actual Japanese people, they don't give a shit about cultural appropriation.
True. Yeah, exactly. And like back to like Scarlett Johansson playing Makoto Kusanagi, or actually it was like
that was just an example of what I was.
Well, the thing is, I was a huge fan. I'm still a huge fan of like Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. Hey Tim. Hey Taki Teacher.
Hi Tim.
Hey, Tim.
And so I watched that movie.
You're here.
So I watched that movie in the theater, and Julie was waving at the wrong camera, waving at her TV screen with her live chat's out.
I was waving at the wrong screen.
Yeah. So I watched.
I'm not home. Okay, stop mocking me.
I'm sorry, Julie. Yeah, the Japanese people in Japan don't care about Scarlett Johansson playing like Miura and Kieran and Ghost in the Shell because they have their own media. Japanese Americans, though, don't see themselves on television or media in America that much anyway. It's actually like only 1% of the roles given out in Hollywood actually gives out to like Asian Americans, as it were. And so that's why it was more of a problem for like Asian Americans and Japanese Americans to have the role of Makoto Kusanagi go to Scarlett Johansson. But also, I was watching that movie live in the theater, and in the movie, they named her Miura Kyuin. Okay, they gave her a white girl's name. That's fine. But in the third act of the movie, no, she was Makoto Kusanagi. She was Japanese. They took her soul, her ghost from a Japanese girl and put it into the cybernetic body of Scarlett Johansson. And I was sitting in the movie theater thinking, movie, you whitewash your own character. You tried to make it better, but you made it worse. What the fuck?
Well, why couldn't they just have hired an Asian actress to play it? Like
because there aren't any good Asian actresses. They're just not famous, and they wouldn't draw a crowd. And nobody's going to go see a Ghost in the Shell movie if it doesn't have a white woman.
Well, hold on. Well, what about let's Brenda Song?
No.
Who is Hmong? Vanessa Hudgens is Filipino, but they could have picked one of them.
Ming Tran, from who was in
Star Wars.
Okay. Oh, there's like
no, they don't exist. They're not real people. No, it has to be ScarJo.
Yeah, but a lot of like Asian actresses in the Hollywood have like they said that like they could have easily gotten it to like any of those people, give them the opportunity to also become a star by being the lead in the movie of Ghost in the Shell, but instead they just gave it to Scarlett Johansson to get butts in the seats. And then they just blamed the reviews for like
same reason why they won't make movies with female leads, because movies with female leads don't do well. And for proof of that, they make a movie with a female lead, and then they don't give it any money.
I would, and so now getting into Star Trek, I always wonder why Counselor Troy didn't wear a normal uniform.
Titties.
Yes.
That always got me.
Mira Stris has said that effectively.
Same for 7 of 9. Titties.
Yes, exactly. Boobs. Rick Berman. And
no, David, I haven't. Sorry, I don't have a keyboard to answer David on the other screen.
The live chat.
Goon show.
No, I don't. And anyways.
It's like, give them a normal uniform, bro. It's like everyone else has one.
They did eventually do that to 7 and 9. They eventually later on gave her a normal.
Well, Discovery did that, and apparently it's politics.
Oh, right.
Oh, and also Phoenix. The Simpsons is not. They're not white people. They're yellow. They're literally yellow. That doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, they could have done the same
I can't
thing
remember
with
who I'm
Jolene
quoting there. It might be
Baylock,
Dave
or-
Rubin.
Oh, Dave Rubin, who just agrees with everyone, and we'll have like a guy on the show and talked about how he hates gay people, doesn't like gay people, and Dave Rubin never mentions that he's gay, and then that guy finds out later, why do you go on Dave Rubin's shows when he's such a gay boy? Dave Rubin is gay. Oh my god!
What are you talking about?
I don't know the person's name, but this was on Twitter, a video like years ago, or something like that. But yeah,
No, who is gay?
Dave Rubin.
What the fuck would you talk about Dave Rubin?
Tom Brockman brought him up.
Yeah.
Dave,
yeah.
Dave,
Oh!
Dave Rubin, and
Don't say his name.
what's that?
Ew, just
Milo
ate.
Yiannopoulos.
Joe Rogan. I was gonna say him.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, that guy.
That's worse.
That.
Oh, we're hurting Julie more and more with every word that comes
Yeah.
out of her mouth.
I'm sorry.
Americans have some really awful people. I know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sorry. I find myself very funny. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just thought it was always weird whenever like these like middle-aged, these preteen or teenage white suburban girls were just so into anime. I don't
Yeah,
know.
they're the
It
target
freaked me
audience.
out.
Also,
to
anime
be
is full
fair.
of pretty boy gay dudes.
Well, yes, there's also that, but also there's a whole genre of magical girls. Sailor Moon was
Magical
popular.
girls. I don't
Yes.
care. I'm a white girl, and that's the only anime genre I like. Magical girls.
Mm-hmm. And the card Captain Sakura came out to America, but then they brought it up to like episode 8, where like Lee Sharon showed up and tried to make it seem like Sakura and Lee were like both equally main characters in the show, so they just called card captors. There's a lot of things, but like when manga took off, also in like the aughts, as it were, like Tokyo Pop flipping the script and just like printing it and forcing people just read back to front and like right to left and stuff like that. Girls found comics that were targeted towards them and in their interests, and so that's why a lot of girls got into manga and thus into anime.
I see. Because I thought it was more or less the
I'm
fact
sorry,
of
John was funny for
the
once.
fact that after World War II, the U.S. and Japan worked really well together. So I was thinking maybe it was, either us being over there or something that.
Well, we definitely had a big impact on a lot of their stuff.
Yeah,
Like the whole tentacle porn thing. Is because
What I find amazing about Japan, about how Japan rebuilt itself, is in like 15 years after the war, they got high-speed rail. We still don't have that here in America.
we don't need
Yeah,
it. We
but
have
it's
cars.
not because of means. It's because you don't want to. Well, your elected officials don't want to.
I mean, in France, you have the TGV. You have that.
Yes.
You had that since the 70s, and we have an Amtrak line called the Acela up
And
north.
compared to the price of your train, the TGV is like to come here. I've ridden first class, and I paid $70 for a train that goes 300 kilometers an hour and is comfortable as fuck.
What's that in real speed?
I was going to say.
I think it might be like
About
250 miles an hour.
I think it's about 200 miles an hour, something like
Because
that.
About that,
two-
yes.
about
It's
two-thirds.
pretty fast.
we don't want to.
our trains.
We didn't want to confuse the metrics in case we're sending a probe to Mars or something.
Yeah, or putting up a space telescope and have to send up glasses for it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, well, one of the reasons that we don't have, well, not just fast trains, but nice stuff in general, is that we have to protect the whole world from.
It's Republic. Repeat after me. The reason you don't have nice things is Republicans and voting for the lesser of two evils.
Well, the
You had to bring it back, didn't you?
well, okay. Well, getting to Julie's
Of course,
point.
I had. Who do you think you are talking to, Tom?
Oh, I know who I'm talking to. It's been a rough week.
Well, getting to Julie's point, the reason why Republicans don't want to fund inner cities is because if they make the inner cities good, they don't have any more fear to tell their base.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if they actually gave
Just
money
one
to
second,
black
can we
communities,
acknowledge that David was just funny in the chat?
No.
Biden will
Nope,
give
you're muted.
everyone no, Biden will give everyone high-speed rails, according to David Scullick in the chat.
Is that 2 feet a millisecond?
2 feet a millisecond. Yeah, that's a good one too.
Okay.
I gotta leave in 10 minutes, but I can go to a 3.
Okay, the top of the hour.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to.
we call it lunch hour for a reason. Lunch hour.
Oh,
3
how
o'clock
nice
is-
of you.
Okay.
Workers unite.
Yeah,
Yeah,
3
I'm
o'clock.
gonna have to beg
Okay.
off in a little bit too. This has not been a good week for me, so I'm just as
Okay.
happy to.
Well, it's great to have you in the call anyway, Tom, and
Mhm.
have your presence. And so
Of
yeah,
course it
so
is.
of course it is. You have an awesome
Thank
hat
you.
too. Yes,
Yes.
is so. John,
Oh, I just
Yeah,
wanted to go
thanks.
ahead and explain real quick the name of the episode title. You might have heard recently there's been some discussion about tearing down our history books in statue form. Because
Hi, Marty.
hey Marty, we have to anyway. People have been going, well, we're going to tear down the racists and slave owners. Who's next? George Washington. And
Yeah.
we on the left have been saying, well, yeah, okay,
Yes.
that's fine. Yeah.
Mhm.
I know the reference about.
And so it's been coming up a lot that people say his dentures were made of slave teeth. He took teeth from his slaves to make his dentures. And so when people make claims like that, I feel the urge to check them out sometimes. Like when Julie says that H.P. Lovecraft stopped being racist. He didn't. But I went ahead and looked up the George Washington's teeth thing, and they actually talk about this at mountvernon.org. For our foreign friends, Mount Vernon was the Washington estate where he lived, being
Plantation.
incredibly rich and owning slaves.
Yeah. Say plantation because
Yeah,
that's
Plantation.
where slaves
Yes, it was
live.
his plantation where he owned slaves and was kind of awful.
oh yeah,
His dentures were not made of wood. They were made of various kinds of ivory and animal teeth and, yes, human teeth. Some of them were his own teeth, but a couple of times he did pay some of his slaves for their teeth. Now, the website, I mean, this is pretty remarkable. Actually says, yes, he got slaves from got teeth from his slaves. Technically, yes, he did pay for them, but they were also his slaves, and did they really have a choice about it? So, in other words, the myth is kind of true. The dentures wouldn't have been made entirely of slave teeth, but a number of those teeth were taken from people he considered his property. So,
It's interesting. There was an early.
Sounds like
Really?
scalping.
Yeah. Well, an early myth was that his teeth were made out of wood, and I have to wonder if that was a sort of whitewashing of the slave.
that was
teeth
probably
issue.
made up by the same guy who
Parson
came up with
Weed.
the cherry tree thing.
Parson
Yeah,
Williams.
exactly. Mhm.
Parson Williams.
Yeah. Actually, they have a link specifically to the wooden teeth myth.
I just don't think we should get rid of Mount Rushmore simply because of the environmental concerns. Yeah, I don't know how you would do that because Greta Thunberg would be pissed.
I say give the Black Hills, which is what they are, back to the Dakota people. Let them take care of it. It's their land.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because if you're gonna be blasting them away, I don't know. The environmentalist in me is like, no.
If I were to do it, I would just sand it off, or just stop cleaning it, just or just cover it with moss. Just start covering it with moss as local to the indigenous place and stuff like that. But I would trust the Lakota people to do what they want to Mount Rushmore and the Black Hills.
Here's another
On the
thing. Well, here's another thing they can do. They can just like make fun of them. Just make fun of all the 4 presidents and just be like fuck you.
Mhm,
You know.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
just
they
do
have
that.
their opinions of those presidents. Yes.
Cut off their noses, make it look like they all had syphilis.
On the other hand, we don't have any of those issues. Well, I don't think, not all of those issues anyway, with the sculpture that Portland did on Stone Mountain in Georgia. We could probably just take we could have that be a U.S. military artillery range, and they could take.
Or just change the title to "Racists Retreat from Lost War."
I'm not really that big on the whole statue thing because personally, when it comes to racism, for me, I guess it's racist, but it doesn't, like it doesn't really have much of a bearing on me per se. But that's just my opinion. So, I don't know. Take them down.
Well, the thing is, like, we're not removing history because, like, it's not like we're destroying history books, as it were. And
yes, we are.
Yeah.
They're big metal history books that don't have words or pictures. Oh, well, they have one picture.
Yeah. Well, the UK has like in replace of a statue that they took down of like some racist except white man slaver or something like that. Slave trader. Yeah. They put up one of a Black Lives Matter activist with the fist up, and so yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yes, a lot has happened. But like, is any like entertainment like everyone's been consuming you want to talk about or mention or share?
So I've been watching the Babysitters Club on Netflix with Alicia Silverstone. And I've also been watching The People versus O.J. Simpson. You guys know what that one is?
I think it's a documentary.
It's
I was alive for the whole thing.
It's not really a documentary. It's more like a drama based, and it's on Netflix. Well, it was on FX, not so Netflix. It has John Travolta, Cuba Gooding Jr. and all them in it.
Oh, so Bristol took down that statue, the statue of like the Black Lives Matter activists, as a word. I'm incorrect about something. So,
Martin showed me a documentary about trans people in media on Netflix.
Oh, that's cool. What's the name?
Disclosure was the name. It's
I have heard.
Pretty fucking cool, actually. So it was pretty. I don't know. I've watched a lot of documentaries, and that one was really equalitarian in the people they asked to talk. So there were trans women, trans men, lots of people of color, which was really expected and cool. And yeah, it was really interesting to me. And yeah, if you have Netflix, you should watch it.
It's a Netflix film. It's called Disclosure.
It's called Disclosure.
Are any of you guys like to take cruises?
Like when you go to gay bars or on a ship?
On a ship.
Never been.
Yeah, I don't see the joy in it, honestly. I don't know.
It's a great way to get food poisoning and be bored for $500 a day.
Yeah.
Hi to everyone who just arrived.
Speaking of arriving, I am getting ancient, very, very
oh God,
old.
You suck.
I do. Oh, I don't know how many ways I should go with it. Okay, I'm not going to do that. That would be awkward. Anyway, so I'm leaving, and I'm going to just very slowly. I'm going to tell those who need to be told to fuck off. Those who would not appreciate being told to fuck off, goodbye. I love all of you very, very well. It's your turn. Okay, now you have to tell me to fuck off.
Love you, Tom.
Yeah,
Juliet,
fuck off,
Tom.
Go take a nap, Tom.
Goodbye. Bye-bye.
I do have to ask one last question before I leave.
Sure.
Why? So how is Elon Musk bad? I'm curious because I think he's just weird.
He is anti-union.
Where do we even begin?
He's very anti-union, yeah.
He's kind of an incompetent half-wit who thinks he's brilliant because he was born to rich parents and thinks that means that he earned his wealth.
Yeah, so
he uses legal chicanery to steal other people's work and thus make it so that he is legally allowed to say that he invented things that he funded instead of actually developing. He's a douche.
I just think
he's also underpaying his workers. He forbids them from unionizing.
He has opened up the Tesla facilities in the San Fernando Valley before it's actually safe to do so because of COVID. And so
when there were kids lost in a cave in Thailand, he offered really bad advice on how to save them, and then the people who actually did go in and save them, he called those people pedophiles. That is Elon Musk.
Yeah,
he doesn't help. He makes things worse, and then he hurts the people who actually do help.
He's also crowding out the night sky with all of his satellites, as it were. So it's
which will make astronomy that much harder.
Also, he's a billionaire, so
not to mention space junk.
Yeah, and he's a billionaire. So I was like, this was the weirdest take I have seen today on Facebook. You can't be a billionaire and pay your workers the living wage. Most just don't.
Well, you can be everything's not about money, dipshit.
But also, it's just there's no.
Oh my God, David!
Oh shit! I don't want to Elon Musk.
Also, Tom, fuck you.
Fuck off, David.
No, look at the last interactions of Marty and Tom.
Bye, Tom.
Tom is off the podcast, okay?
Didn't he name his kid something weird
Hunter.
Number?
Oh no, Elon Musk named his kid Ash 7 or something.
Yeah, I don't care about that motherfucker. He gives people with autism a bad name.
Is
he on the spectrum?
A12. Probably.
He might be.
Because he just looks like an asshole. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can be
the two aren't mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, look at me.
You're just kind of an asshole, though. I know you find that offensive, but...
Yeah, John Brockway hates it when he's been referred to as kind of an asshole. He wants to be a full asshole.
Just kind of an asshole?
That's why I went to work for NASA over Elon Musk. I just, God, he's just...
NASA's awesome.
I just feel like he's
underfunded.
I just feel like he's just toxic. There's just a lot of shit. I just don't. I think he's very pompous. He definitely has that going for him.
I mean, he's a South African whose parents own the goddamn emerald mine. I mean, that's.
I call him still John Barrowman because I don't know. He looks like John Barrowman if he was Captain Jack from Doctor Who.
When I think
if he was raised, if John Barrowman was kept in a jar for the first few years of his life to give him the sort of squished appearance,
and went stale.
Not to be offensive, but when I think of South Africa, I just think of apartheid for some reason.
Yeah, I know.
Even today, it's like so when someone says South Africa, oh, apartheid.
Well, white people are still a majority, I think. In number, I mean.
They're probably a majority of power in South Africa. I know that Nelson Mandela too. I did work a lot with the movement to break the Indian apartheid in South Africa, and because of the actions that group did and he was a part of and the violence that they did, which was mainly just sabotage, branded Nelson Mandela a terrorist. up until 2008.
Did you also know that that I think Dick Cheney tried to keep him locked up at Robinson Island, and they were all like, well, if we let Mandela, because Mandela had some Marxist leanings, he may turn South Africa commie. It's like, yeah, okay, so being a black man who can't even vote is worse than being a communist. Are you shitting me? Are you okay?
Well, I mean, a lot of communists are Jews, and Jews are
America.
kind of white. So I mean, it's complicated.
We are living in America.
And you probably need to take off, Isaiah. It's getting
Yeah,
it's after 3.
I gotta get back to work, But I'll catch you guys next Saturday, hopefully.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, why
Bye
not?
bye, Isaiah. Nice talking
Bye,
to you.
Julia. Bye, John. Bye, some random
Jonathan.
dude. Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Yep. David pronounced my name Jonathan.
David.
Later, David.
See you guys later.
Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Bye bye.
Bye.
And Elon Musk named his baby XI-12.
Mm-hmm. And some Americans will be able to learn how to pronounce that name
Before they can learn how to pronounce a black person's name. Yeah.
or win the Vietnamese last name. Then again, to be fair, I only learned how to pronounce that name. I learned how to pronounce that name before meeting Vietnamese people. Oh my god, I sound like I'm just like I have a black friend. But no, I learned how to pronounce that name because of poker. A lot of Vietnamese players have the last name of Win.
Yeah.
Why are people talking about Thatcher in the chat? The witch is
Because
dead.
Thatcher was opposed to Nelson Mandela. She called him a terrorist.
Yeah, I know. But I just wanted to call her.
But
a
I think we
witch
can all
and
agree
say-
that
and
Margaret
say she
Thatcher was a
dead.
neoliberal fascist.
Yeah, I agree. Yes. There is no society, only individuals. And look what's happened. That was actually a good video that Rebecca Watson did earlier this week about like a couple of studies that like showed like the kind of like, or at least one of the studies showed that like the countries
Rebecca rocks.
Oh yeah, Rebecca Watts. I'll find the video and like put it into the live chat. But
Rebecca Watson
You
is
don't
generally
have to
awesome.
put it like that.
Oh yes, it's just like it's funny, informative, and just like it does like a good like opinions and like but it's like the study you like found. Here's the link to that latest video. Is that countries?
Shut the fuck up, David! Oh my god!
Why would we want our children to be named Tesla? It's just like. Anyway.
Well, I mean, if Elon Musk hadn't stolen it, then yeah, Nikola Tesla was okay dude. Not nearly as awesome as internet nerds want to make him out to be, but yeah, he was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, he was better than Edison anyway, so.
Well, everyone's better than Edison. Edison was a complete asshole.
That's fair.
I haven't heard anything, but I'm just like not surprised. I shouldn't be surprised, especially with like old.
Stole patents from yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Anything basically.
Yeah, totally makes sense. And Rebecca, back to the point of Rebecca Watson's latest video. One study showed that like countries that tend to have more of a collectivist like kind of like mentality culturally, societally, seem to like perform much better in dealing with the COVID-19 thing. And that's kind of like makes sense how like the anti-communist like or anything that's collectivism is socialism that's bad here in America kind of fosters these people who think that wearing masks is unpatriotic. But still, watch Rebecca Watson's video.
But you're
She's
still
awesome.
okay to share your germs. The mask is going to become mandatory in France again soon.
Why did they stop being mandatory?
Because capitalism.
Yeah, that's the same reason why it was like.
Because my motherfucker is a motherfucker too, not just yours.
Yep, Macron, the bunker.
Just because yours is the worst of the worst doesn't mean that the other motherfuckers aren't bad.
So yeah, a lot of this happens. Okay, bit more news. Ruth Bader Ginsburg has cancer resurgence and plans to stay on the Supreme Court. So is this the latest one? I'm seeing this headline. DeMarc say now.
Wait, Valérie Valois,
No, like that's the old one. Never mind.
You have a profile pic with an anarcho-communist flag, and you say communism sucks.
Maybe
you're a Mitre friend. Is that a joke? I suck at.
I hope.
Biden will make Macron great again. David, with my friend Mylene, we watched some videos from The Voice, and we were seeing a voice from The Voice from Sweden, and he was a power metal annoying us. That's just for David.
Well, what can you expect from a Finn? David, he's just not as good as a real
The Conquest of Bread.
Norseman.
Yes, I've listened to the audiobook of Mutual Aid, A Factor of Evolution.
So, does Chomsky still suck?
Noam Chomsky? Yeah, I haven't heard anything new other than he signed that Harper's
still
letter.
bitching about against cancel culture.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything recently.
Has he done anything since then? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
My friend is the best friend in the world. Look what she did for me.
She pooped in a bowl?
Yes. She pooped ice cream in the bowl.
Be gay, poop ice cream. That's anarcho-communism. We poop ice cream.
Greg and Jerry's ice cream. Ben and Jerry's. Sorry, there's a burger joint in my city that's called Greg and Jerry's. That's Oh,
so it's not so much that communism sucks, Valerie. It's that Marxism-Leninism sucks.
Yeah,
Yes.
Authoritarian socialism sucks. I agree. I know some people who are Marxist-Leninists and Marxist-Leninist, and they seem cool. We will just disagree on that there need to be a centralized government.
Yes, Biden will poop in all the holes.
Okay, that one I believe.
That is just being funny tonight.
FDR said a chicken in every pot. Biden will give you a poop in every pot. That's just...
So, John, do you...
Tonight, I'm sorry, I'm shocked.
Yeah, it was shocking to see David Skog being funny.
Wonderful backhanded compliments in the show today.
Hey, he tolerates us. He gives us money, I think, and he is here and still here, despite how many times we put him in timeouts, which we haven't done tonight. We should attempt him. It will get worse as it is. So what else has happened?
I don't know. I need ice cream. For the next 5 minutes.
Julie cannot think and eat ice cream at the same time.
No.
It's like walking and chewing bubblegum.
You know what? That's totally fair. Because sometimes you just gotta enjoy the ice cream. And you can think your way out of nothing. Yeah. and by thinking could ruin, depending on what you think about, it could ruin your enjoyment of the ice cream. Sometimes ice cream is life.
Well, now I'm bringing this up. Just a fun little exchange I had with Steve Shives on Twitter.
Okay.
You'll be able to see it in a few seconds on on the stream.
I'm watching.
Basically, Steve tweeted, "Fuck Robert E. Lee, fuck his statue on Antietam battlefield, and fuck everybody who's upset about it getting vandalized. Next time, I hope somebody throws a chain around it and drags it down to the creek behind a truck." To which I pointed out,
Yeah.
"You drive a truck."
So when I'm not talking, there's dead air.
That's good. Yeah, the Mithro brought a good point. Do we have Fishy Fashy tonight?
I'm working on that. I've been trying to dig through. I completely spaced on it last night. But I've been digging through a bit of Twitter, and I think I have 3 Fishy Fashy, or 3 tweets that will suffice for Fishy Fashy. I just have to decide which one I want to falsify.
Have you been better with your withdrawal, John?
Yeah, I barely get any sort of dizzies right now.
That's good.
Yay!
Yeah.
And
So I can
mental
walk.
health
Well,
is still good?
I mean, I've still been on lockdown for 3 months, and thus am still spending, a lot of time in bed, but could be worse.
Yeah, that sucks.
All right, so let's see. Which one do I want to make fake? Is it going to be Andy and Go, Ben Shapiro, or Michael Shermer?
Oh,
Oh,
God.
You're telling us now, so it's just like, oh God. And then,
One of these 3 is going to be, I mean, that's the rule of Fishy Fashy, is that one of the 3 is going to be fake. I just had to figure out which one I want to tweak to make it fake.
No, I won't bring up that because like it'll start a conversation and we're about to do like a Fishy Fashy. So I'm just going to ramble for a moment until like John Brockman is ready.
And I'm still going to be eating ice cream.
We have established that like ice cream is life, so that's perfectly okay.
But it's chocolate ice cream, so it's not really that good.
That's your opinion.
Eat chocolate fudge brownie ice cream, motherfucker. There's actual pieces of brownie in it. It's so much beyond good. It's even funny. So go on and ramble, Geek.
Now I don't know what to ramble about. Thinking, what's coming into my head? What should I do? What should I talk about? Say something.
All right. So, Andy and Go, Ben Shapiro, Michael Shermer.
Okay.
Andy and Go has said on Twitter that the drive-by tactics of law enforcement that we talked about earlier on, where the brown shirts just jump out of a van, grab you, and drag you off without identifying themselves, is like Antifa. It's like the Antifa tactics. And that's why Antifa is getting the press to go after this federal law enforcement tactic. Because it's so similar to Antifa. And there you go. Says that these police tactics, these brown shirt tactics, are like Antifa, and that's why Antifa is going against them, because they don't want to look like the bad guys. Next up, we have Ben Shapiro, who agrees with the cancel culture concerns of the people who signed the Harper's Weekly letter, and goes on a fairly long, for him, 3 tweets, tirade about cancel culture and how bad it is, and just lavishing praise as much as he can, because he's a tiny little person, on the people who signed the letter. Went on a rant about cancel culture, alternating that with
I'm a
praising.
tiny little person. Fuck you.
But Ben Shapiro's a terrible person for other reasons.
Mm-hmm. Michael Shermer also talks about cancel culture, praising, I believe it's Matt Taibbi. I don't know this person. Yes, Matt Taibbi. for writing an article about cancel culture, in which he says, "What would cancel culture be if it didn't have canceling?" Michael Shermer says, "Nothing." So those are our 3 tweets. Andy and Go likens federal law enforcement.
It fell. Oh my God.
Andy and Go likens law enforcement tactics to Antifa, says they're the same thing. Ben Shapiro likes the Harper's Weekly letter and lavishes praise on the people who wrote it. Michael Shermer says that cancel culture is nothing but canceling. And it is not.
Biden will cancel every culture. So
Jonathan, which one do you think is fake?
I'm gonna go with the Michael Shermer one. It's possible you fake something about like Andy No or Ben Shapiro, but yet those sounds very believable. I think it's possible that Michael Shermer wasn't capable of making a joke.
All right, so Jonathan thinks it's the Shermer tweet. Julie, Andy Go, Ben Shapiro, or Michael Shermer?
I say Shermer too because it's the first time we have him.
Okay, so you're both in agreement. One way or another, we're going to get a sweep this week.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you both agree that Ben Shapiro likes the Harper's Weekly letter and praised the people who signed it. And this one is...
I agree that Shapiro is a cunt, mostly.
But this one is actually the fake.
Oh!
Well done, John.
Yes, putting it on the screen now. It will be visible.
Well, in our butts, I guess.
It'll be visible on the stream in a few seconds. Ben Shapiro said, "I will buy the anti-cancel culture concerns of those who signed the Harper's Weekly letter when they're willing to sign the exact same letter, but co-signed by even one person who voted for Trump or plans to do so." Barry fucking Weiss signed the letter. Okay, I'm pretty sure Barry Weiss voted for Trump. A lot of people on that letter are right-wing shit stains.
Oh,
So,
Barry Weiss. I thought you said Barry White. Wait, I thought he
let's
was
get it
dead.
on. Donald
I
Trump.
thought he was dead, and yeah, he's dead. But that being said, Weiss means white in German, so her name is basically Barry White. So
yeah. So he goes on to say, "It's self-serving to say you don't like cancel culture when you're trying to pry open the Overton window just wide enough to escape, but not wide enough to allow open conversation with others, obviously within the mainstream political conversation, who disagree with you."
is it just me, or is Shapiro these? Oops, sorry, digesting. Does Shapiro these days is getting very close to getting the point without ever reaching it?
Well, yeah, that's kind of a right-wing thing, is to run face first into the truth, fall down, get up and bump their head on it from underneath, fall down again, then crawl away from the truth, whining about how the truth hurts.
Yeah.
So next up, we have Andy and Go. Andy and Go did compare law enforcement to Antifa. The meltdown over federal law enforcement's drive-by...
I had no doubt in my mind about that.
Yeah, we had no doubt about that one.
...is because it's effective and uses minimal force. Kidnapping someone off the street and taking them to a black site is not minimal force.
No.
All right, Antifa knows this, and that's why they're having friends in media press this point, like WAPO's Katie Shepard, who erased her Twitter history after getting the job.
Well, also, it's absolutely not an Antifa tactic.
No, it's not.
No, it definitely isn't. That's a white supremacist tactic. That is what the KKK did to black people. Okay, this is...
Yes.
Okay, it is literally a fascist tactic.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's Michael Shermer. The always insightful writing of Matt Taibbi is at its best in this analysis of cancel culture. The question isn't whether or not cancel culture exists. The question is, without canceling, what would this culture be? Answer, nothing. I've heard the name Matt Taibbi. I don't know why I've heard his name before. But given that Michael Shermer is retweeting an article by him, he's probably a right-wing dipshit.
He's probably a rapist.
Yeah. Those who rape together stay together.
I'm going to be sued. Oh, God. Sorry.
Hold on, wait a minute. I think I have heard of Matt Taibbi because I think he might co-host the Useful Idiots podcast on like Rolling Stones that they do. It's a weekly podcast that they do. But other than that, it's just like I only like been starting listening to it and just like it's decent liberal stuff.
I'm going to leave you base for like 10 minutes, and
That's okay.
We're gonna make fun of you while you're gone.
You can. I'm going to take a big shite. See you soon.
Okay, according to David Scott, Matt Taibbi is a leftist writer at the Rolling Stone. Yeah, that's what I thought. And he's a journalist, and he's actually not right wing with Katie Halper. Yeah, Katie Halper is the also co-host Useful Idiots with Matt Taibbi. Barry Weiss is a ghoul that quit from the New York Times this week. Oh yes, because probably because they're not okay with what Barry Weiss is writing about, or they don't agree with her stance or something like that. I don't remember the details, but I just know that she quits because of Barry Weiss is terrible
because she's a piece of shit.
Yeah, the New York Times still months ago or just weeks ago did post printed that op-ed by the Senator Tom Cobbs who pretty much was advocating for something that's happening right now in response to the Black Lives Matter protests. And that's where it's just you know what, just because they're a sitting senator doesn't mean we have to print whatever they say. But yeah. Yeah, isn't it the secret police kidnap thing in the Culver Revolution? I say so. I mean, we got to do something. But it's criminal anarchy, and the criminal anarchy is on the books and here in Washington State. But then again, that's especially with also. Oh yeah, that's right. I don't know if we brought this up, but the Betsy DeVos forcing schools to reopen.
Yeah, the fucking the White House press secretary said the science shouldn't get in the way of this, which a lot of people took to mean that once again the right is saying science is annoying and it needs to stay out of our way. But you listen to her full comments. Him and Meta discussed this on his podcast, which the Friendly Atheist.
Okay, never mind.
He and Jessica Blumke-Greif talked about it, and he said that no, when you listen to the full comments, that's not what she was saying. She was saying that the science actually agrees with them, because, again, according to them, the COVID doesn't affect children, or at least not as strongly. Okay, and first off, that's false. COVID does affect children, and it can be very bad. Second, even if that were true, children notoriously come into contact with other people, many of whom are not children, such as their parents, their grandparents, and their fucking teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, even if the belief that COVID isn't a problem for children were true, that's not true, but even if it were, it would still be a bad idea to reopen schools. It is a bad idea to reopen schools. Full stop.
Yeah. And it's they're using, and Betsy DeVos is using the power of the federal government to defund the schools that don't do that, or it's just I honestly think it's just this is part of a plan to hey, they're not going to kids don't want that parents are not going to send their kids to public schools or something like that, or does public schools get defunding for not following the guidelines, refusing the orders, thus get defunded, and then all that money goes to charter schools, which benefits
they're quite open in their desire to destroy public education and replace it with slavery.
Mm-hmm.
They miss the days when children worked 16 hours a day, 6.5 days a week, in factories. That's what they want to go back to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like that. I wonder if like enough like liberals, for example, finally say, let's not consent to being governed by the federal government until they are proven that they can like actually advocate for like our well-being, that they're actually for like our safety and stuff like that. And it's just like right now, if this happened, it didn't happen in an election year, I wonder if like more liberals will finally just say, yeah, let's not consent to the federal government's like ability to consent over us. But since it's the election year, I wonder how many liberals will still say, well, this is why we got to vote out Trump.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm not surprised they tried to overturn child labor laws, and it sounds like the Supreme Court saying we don't have, problems with people trying to suppress the black vote, so we don't need these laws protecting the black vote. Children aren't working in factories, so we don't need these laws saying children shouldn't be allowed to work in factories.
I'm back.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Okay, and now you're back. I'm going to go ahead and change your... Oops, unmute. I'm going to change your name because you don't love Dave Rubin. You're eating poop. And for some reason, when I mute you, I can't unmute you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's because I refuse to be unmuted. I've been fucking with you since the beginning of the episode. Actually, you changed my name here, but you didn't put
that's because 30 seconds delayed.
Yeah.
On the YouTube thing.
It's 30 seconds delayed. Oh, yes, right.
No, it's not because of the delay. You put it on the Zoom reunion, not on the YouTube thing.
Mm-hmm. So I changed it on Zoom. It should change everywhere.
Sometimes you
can't see my name on YouTube though.
But the Zoom thing is being like broadcast in OBS on like John Brockman's thing. So it's only when John Brockman moves his cursor over onto the Zoom thing, those our names.
So for example, in about 30 seconds, you'll be able to see in very small, almost illegible letters, eating poop.
Oh.
Yeah.
So no one is going to be able to.
Correct. It's only if you were to turn off the video again that people would be able to see eating poop.
That was mighty fine poop, though.
The left, totally degenerate.
Yes.
Be gay,
with
eat poop.
Cookie dough and brownie and chocolate sauce. Also, Ben and Jerry's are pro Black Lives Matters, and give them your money.
Yeah, Ben and Jerry's is generally good people.
Yeah, they were just like more than just like, yeah, we all support the black people. No, I think they like the statement is just like, yeah, fuck the police, let's get rid of them.
Their statement was just fucking awesome.
What sort of punny name could they come up with for "fuck the police" ice cream?
Ooh,
this is.
Ooh.
Maybe
David,
just fuck the pole ice cream.
Yeah, David, put your fucking superpower at work for once.
David, you got a challenge. How can Ben and Jerry's pun the phrase "fuck the police" be a ice cream flavor? Yeah,
fuck the pole ice cream.
Yes, get sherbet then if you can't have like ice cream then, because I do enjoy sherbet, non-dairy variety of frozen treats.
He said cream without ice. That sounds like a porn title.
A porn title? Yeah. I mean, we're all degenerates anyway, so I'm not surprised we're talking about porn titles.
Mithril said chocolate fudge the pole ice cream. The police cream.
Not a bad one.
You can strike the chocolate from that. Fudge the police cream.
I like that.
Yes, that's a good one.
What about abolish the police?
Abolish the
Sorry,
police.
Valerie, diabetes.
You have the
is
diabetes, Valerie?
a motherfucker.
We don't accept
Yeah,
disabled
sorry.
people on this podcast. You're going to have to go.
Fuck you, John.
Oh God, I laughed so hard I almost lost my key.
So abolish the police. Ooh. Oh.
Chocolate fudge the pole ice cream. I like that.
Yeah.
Fudge the pole ice cream. Yeah. Oh, good. And if anyone still hasn't like binge listened to the podcast, Behind the Police, do listen to Behind the Police. It is a brilliant podcast miniseries from the podcaster who does the iHeartRadio podcast series Behind the Bastards. Behind the Police is a very good complementary to it and something like that. I binge listened to it over the past week and something like that. It's brilliant. Not surprising how television kind of like boosts the opinions of people in it boosts the opinions of people of the police with like, why is the Texas Rangers like now a good thing instead of the terribly racist and settler colonialist kind of thing it was? Because that Chuck Norris TV show.
Well, not just Chuck Norris, but every goddamn cop show.
The Dragnet.
No one watches. I guess a lot of people watch that in your country today.
Mm-hmm.
The Chuck Norris one, because it was broadcast in France too.
Yeah.
But it was notoriously like very don't find the word, but not good.
It was pretty shitty TV even here in the US.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, you have actual good police shows too for your propaganda. So,
well, we have
people
well-made
don't rely on Chuck Norris.
TV shows. I wouldn't call them good because they're definitely not moral.
No, when I said good, I mean, yeah, okay.
Well produced.
Well made.
Yeah, I mean, like even like a Dick Wolf when he made Law and Order, he actually expressly was annoyed that like in like the Law and Order TV or court shows, or they had the cop shows at the time that like it was the defense attorneys that were given a good light, and they showed the prosecuting attorneys that's just like corrupt and bad because they're trying to like put innocent people into jail and stuff like that. So Dick.
Well, that's true.
Yes, that is
talking
true.
About that, they're rebooting Perry Mason.
Don't know about that.
Well, I mean,
the first one with Raymond Burr.
Wait, who?
Mason. Perry Mason.
Perry Mason starred the guy from Barney Fife.
Raymond Burr.
Oh, wow. Going back to way back in the day.
Yeah. And they're rebooting that. And if you don't know about Perry Mason, he's a lawyer that often fucks with the police and
a criminal defense attorney.
Yeah, he's a criminal defense attorney, but is really fucking with the cops. He is, yeah. I like him. That's the first books I learned to read, actually. My mom gave me Perry Mason books, and she said, "You're going to like this."
Series of novels before in the 1930s. Well, that's the first appearance in the 1930s of Perry Mason. And there was a TV show in the 50s and the 60s. And HBO is like remaking it.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Andy Griffith. Why was I thinking of Andy Griffith? Matlock. He was in Matlock. That's why.
Oh yeah. That what's he? Yeah.
Mithril in the chat is saying, I remember some right-wing nutters complaining that NCIS was left-wing propaganda because it showed the military as corrupt.
Well, they're
NCIS,
right.
Left-wing propaganda.
No.
People were given a reason to be to the Patriot Act.
Yeah.
I mean, I watch NCIS. I liked the team Well, not the fuckboy, the other one.
Yeah, that fuckboy. Hey,
The
and John.
geek and the boss guy.
No, yeah, Mark Harmon.
Yeah, but I mean, it was never left wing.
It was never left. Well, again, there's according to some people, just being liberal is socialist.
Well, NCIS is a spin-off from JAG, isn't it?
Possible, but now there's like 3 NCISs, and also John, the glasses removal thing, that's CSI. Still, same kind of like thing.
I've never watched that show. I only know it from a parody episode in Supernatural. That was just hilarious with the sunglasses. And with the music and the scream and all. And when I saw that Supernatural episode, I googled the trope to see what it was about CSI, because the show airs in France a few of the CSI shows, but it's not on the channel I usually watched, so I've never watched it.
NCIS was introduced via a backdoor pilot from the TV show JAG.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then NCIS spun off NCIS Los Angeles and NCIS New Orleans. New Orleans.
David is on fire tonight. Oh my God. David, you just killed John.
Well done, Dave. Oh.
So, I actually had some like a good news to like a share, something pun and positive, something like that. Yeah, because Tabby the Wolf that's in the live chat also goes Tabby the Wolf is on Twitch. Ooh, I should probably find like the Twitch links and all that stuff so I can paste them in there. But yeah, so last weekend on the 10th.
Wolf. Oh, Tabby Wolf. Okay.
Yeah, Tabby Wolf.
Wolves can't be tabbies. That's a cat thing. That's a cultural appropriation.
Tabby.
Hi, Tabby.
Hey, Tabby.
Well, I already told you hi, but anyways.
Yes. But yeah, no problem. There's a bunch of those like people that like did the stream because last weekend on the 10th through Tiltify, you can be a Sabo, Tabby, though. Yeah, go for it. Why not? Just like, take care of the fur and make it all shiny and glossy. So,
you just completely destroyed Geek's train of thought. Just
yeah.
So in response,
and I completely lost it too. So.
Yes. So back in June, when Trump administration removed gender identity from like the Civil Rights Act and saying that federal offices and federal governments can actually discriminate on gender identity. Tabby was really concerned about that and got friends' messages, so decided to want to do something. So we did do something. Tabby organized it with her friend Groundhog 2010, and they both did a lot of behind the scenes work. We did a charity stream on last Friday. Started on Tabby's like a Twitch channel. Went all the way through the weekend to the 12th, and I was a part of it. I streamed on Saturday and Sunday, played Dead Cells. We had a lot of great Twitch streamers that like joined in. Dude Snaps, who read a very interesting like article or essay by Maoist Volt Cells. These Maoists seem to have good opinions on gender, at least compared to TERFs, but yet their opinions on sex weird. So check out Dude Snap's channel for that. But like Tabby the Wolf is
But I really don't want to.
That's fine. So yeah, and Lucky Bun did a great streams of Dark Souls where she played a Google translated mod of Dark Souls 3. Basically, all the text in the game got translated 15 times through Google Translate. So instead of instead of sitting at the bonfire or moving or teleporting, it's instead immigration and other things like that. So that was a great stream that Lucky Bun did. There a lot of different things. We raised money for the TLDF, which is, hold on, finding the thing, and is the TLDF is the Trans Legal Defense and Educational Fund, is a 501c3 nonprofit whose mission is to end discrimination and achieve equality for trans people. Their strategies include path-breaking trans rights cases and Friends of the Courts briefs regarding the key issues of employment, healthcare, education, and public accommodation. And I will put the a website for the transgenderlegal.org for all people to and find out. And Tabby, we also posted the same link as well. And so that's who we were raising money for on the last weekend from the 10th to the 12th on the various different Twitch channels.
So that was a very goofy Dark Souls.
It was a very goofy Dark Souls. Yes, exactly. Also, Lucky Bun to encourage donations. Every time someone donated, even just like $1, they would tell that Lucky Bun to okay, fight with just your hands, or fight with just a shield, or fight with a whip. And so she had to try to beat the bosses with just a whip. And so people said, okay,
because that game isn't difficult enough as it is.
Everything I know about Dark Souls, I learned from H Bomber Guy.
So our goal for that weekend was just to raise $1,000 to benefit the TLDF, Trans Legal Defense and Educational Fund.
Too long, didn't even fuck.
I did get a comment from another Discord server that said, I'm sorry, I've been on the internet too long. I see TL, I thought it meant the TLD, I thought it meant too long, didn't read, or something like that.
That was my immediate thought. TLDF? What?
Too long, didn't even fuck. But no, we raised $1,719.97.
Tabby with that joke.
You did. You broke me.
He doesn't seem to understand what it means.
Well, she'll catch up in a few seconds.
TLDE, yeah, E's for education.
Didn't even fuck.
I have to say I have no clue what the fuck you're on about, but
TLDR means too long, didn't read.
Yeah.
So and TLDF.
What it means.
But yeah, we were over the weekend. All of those streamers, the Nasaneko, Groundhog, Dude Snaps, Lin Wu, Dances with Owls, Tabby, of course, Sierra Brit. We managed, and with the great help with the mods of Anarchist, Mr. Swellpig, and Comrade D-Quack, we were able to raise $1,719.97 for TLDF, which is far exceeding our goal of just raising $1,000 over the weekend. We would have been happy if we raised $500 or $300 over the weekend and something like that, but we raised $1,700. And I even got a couple of donations on my stream, including $1 from some random geek. Yes, someone donated $1 in my name.
See, we should do a marathon game session to spite J.K. Rowling. What should we play?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Pretty sure none of us have the same game.
But what would be a good trans-inclusionary a game that would piss off J. Karen Rowling's?
Basically a tabletop game, because I don't think there's trans people in games otherwise.
There's a lot of good independently developed games that appear on itch.io. That's what Dances with AU did on
I have opinions on independent games though.
Well, no, these are actually there's rules on her streams that we can showcase games that were made by queer developers, and so there was a lot of like really cool, adorable games. Like visual novels and like
though reminder that Brianna Wu is an ableist fuck. Do not give her money.
I didn't know about that.
She used to, during Gamergate, she used to insult people who attacked her by calling them aspy. Yeah.
That's unfortunate. So I guess the only
I mean, you can be trans and an asshole. You shouldn't be discriminated against, but yeah, do not give her money.
Ooh, we should make a game about the culture wars where you play a disabled black trans woman in a wheelchair whose goal is to platform your way through a bunch of levels in order to cancel white people.
I like that idea. There's definitely like a lot of like queer developed games and also queer positive games. Or like any game that allows you to like change your gender or just like identify as like the third gender or other genders, as it were.
The Sims.
Sims. Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of like games that we can think of that are just queer inclusive and can play to spite like J. Karen Rowlands and other turfs.
Is there a She-Ra game? There should be a She-Ra game.
There should be a She-Ra game.
Oh God!
I mean,
She-Ra game.
It's just like there's possibilities. It just give it to the right developer, keep it independent, so it's like less than $20 or $20, and make it good.
Pretty sure She-Ra is more gay than trans, no?
It's very, very gay.
Yes.
I don't recall any.
Yeah,
trans people.
that's gay as fuck. But
the non-binary character is Double Trouble.
I shouldn't have asked. I haven't been home for 2 weeks. I have not kept up on She-Ra yet. So
I haven't finished the 5th season of She-Ra either.
No,
so.
I haven't finished the second season.
I'm just starting the 4th.
The fourth. The 4th season. I would just say after a significant change and some characters change costumes, so let's just leave it at that. So that will be the 4th season. You will know that actually has a non-binary character in Double Trouble. I kind of thought it was like kind of good representation, but there's definitely arguments to have that like Double Trouble.
In what, She-Ra?
In She-Ra, the 4th season, there's a non-binary character called Double Trouble, actually performed by a non-binary performer as well.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and I noticed in the dialogue between the other characters referring to Double Trouble, they were using they, and I'm always like, well, of course they would. And then I thought, thinking more, it's like, that is so unusual for me to hear a character referred to as they in third person in that way. And so, yeah, it's kind of neat. But
Maylin is asking me about Steven Universe and She-Ra and queerness.
I still have not seen Steven
Universe.
I haven't
seen any Steven Universe, no.
You should, Jonathan. Steven Universe is you.
Yes, I should. I should really catch up on like Steven Universe. I do enjoy that meme.
Yeah, I'm just explaining that. Yeah. Steven Universe is very awesome, also regarding trauma and shit like that.
Yeah, I have heard about that. Phoenix is also a fan of like Steven Universe as well. So yeah, that's
I don't get the Catra love yet, because where I am, she's just a jealous asshole, and I can't fucking stand her.
Being raised in an absurdly abusive home. Yeah.
So far, favorite episode still episode 11 in season 1, Promise.
Oh yes.
That's the one with the prom, the super gay prom.
No. That was like earlier.
That was a super gay prom, though.
That was a super gay prom. But no, this is like later after the events of the prom. This is where like Adora and Catra were like stuck.
Trapped into the holographic. When they relive their childhood.
Yeah. They revisit their childhood. The line, the line.
White. How the fuck is the luggage trans? There's a book where it's clearly a dude, and
when they went to XXX, it wore high heels. So not necessarily trans, maybe just a cross.
He's a cross-dresser, okay. That's okay.
A drag queen.
Yeah. Thank you, bro.
He's just comfortable with his gender, He can wear high heels.
There is a curator on Steam that has curated trans games. Or like trans inclusive games or anything like that. He's a handful, so it's like, yeah, with Steam. So that's cool. So yeah, those would be the kind of
just open the transtastic thing.
Transtastic.
Yeah, that looks very queer.
And they also mentioned of like, there's even one where it's just like not recommended because like I see, interesting. So they even tell you about like games like, even if it's like trans exclusive, don't play it. Undertale, of course, yes.
Not recommended, yeah.
Undertale is still an awesome game.
For some reason, all trans people are assumed to be straight. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that reminds me of like
problematic distinction between pre-op and post-op. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, Monty. Maybe we should just play like Wolfenstein 2.
Yeah, let's just kill Nazis.
Exactly. And as I mentioned before, at least Return to Wolfenstein 2 has actually covered the Holocaust as well. A lot of World War II games didn't.
Yeah. See, the thing is, America has a very problematic relationship with World War II. Because immediately after the war was over, we said, you know what? We should have been fighting with the Germans.
It's similar to like also Japan. Well, Japan has their interesting issues with like World War II as well, because like I have like these like 4 books of volumes of the history of Japan, the Shoto period. The reason why the manga artist created those books because in 1984 when Japan was hosting the Olympics. Oh, World War II? What World War II? No, we weren't part of World War II. Officially, Japan had no involvement in World War II. The Megaten artist was like, motherfucker, I nearly starved in that war. You're not going to like whitewash and erase history and say that like Japan had no involvement in the World War II. I'll write this history books to prove you wrong. And so, yeah. And Japan's, I don't know.
I mean, the U.S., they only joined the Allies because Japan attacked them.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, we had our empire, and we were worried about the Germans threatening our empire. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, Candace Owen said it, didn't she? If Hitler just wanted to make Germany great again, he shouldn't have tried.
If he had kept his Holocaust to within the borders of Germany, then it would have been okay.
Yeah.
But that seriously was the U.S. attitude. Immediately after the war, the right and the U.S. military said, we were on the wrong side of that. We should have been fighting against those
communists. None of the Allies did anything they did for...
good reasons.
To help the victims of the Holocaust.
No.
I mean, I live in the country that was under Germany rule, and we know something that's called the Vichy government.
Mm-hmm.
Not very proud.
We turned away Jews fleeing.
We didn't turn them away. We turn them to.
You turned them over, yeah.
Yes, that's not a very proud chapter of French history, which already not really anything to be proud about.
Well, Marty,
It's colonization and genocide, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Marty, Churchill did win the war because he went to Greece or somewhere in Eastern Europe and he talked it over with Stalin and said, we'll let you do your little genocide-y things and we'll do our little genocide-y things and then we'll be fine.
Marty, I love you!
Love you, Marty! Yes. And yeah, like Churchill definitely made sure that hey, the UK had plenty of food during and after like the war or to do so. Now that did mean that like the people in Bengal had to like starve and like suffer in the famine because that been when I was like a video on that the Bengal famine is really good and really informative on that subject. Yeah, fuck Churchill. Mm-hmm.
In the USA launched 2 nuclear bombs on their enemy in the Pacific War, so yeah, they won.
Yeah, it's just.
There was also the massive island hopping campaign before that, but I think that the dropping of the bombs was less about Japan and more about Russia at that point.
No, I know, but I mean, it still was the worst war crime in history.
Oh yeah, I agree.
No, it wasn't. It was against brown people. It's only a war crime if it happens to white people.
Japanese are white. Have you seen Japanese people's face? They're not brown.
Look at the anime they produce. Which I actually do think is like kind of like
they have too much melanin to be white, and also their eyes are different, and they're not Christians.
I was joking. Well, I was making a bad taste joke. Let's just say.
Yeah.
I really don't like the white nationalist tendencies of Japan at large.
White nationalists are fucking weird. In addition to being stupid and wrong.
I mean, whiteness is weird enough as it is.
It's
with its randomness and conditions.
Italians aren't white. Yeah. Okay, now they're white. The Irish, they're not white. Okay, now they're white. Okay, the Jews aren't white.
Depending where you are.
But Greeks, let me see. Greeks aren't white.
Well, they can be white. It's iffy. Are they the good Greeks or are they the gay
living
Greeks?
In Greece, though, because if they're still living in Greece, they're not white.
No, they're way too Turkish and communist.
Not to Western Europeans. I really no. Mehmet isn't white.
No.
And he's not here because he's not here today because he is on vacation.
He's a motherfucker. That's why he's not here.
He bought into the capitalist lie of vacation.
Yeah. He went to Istanbul.
Not Constantinople.
It's in Turkey, so it's not that far away from where he lives. Just saying. So yeah.
Yep.
I ate too much ice cream, and it's 10, and I'm with a friend, so I think I'm going to fuck off now.
I think we're at a good place to stop too. Since,
Indeed.
We covered everything that we needed to. So I'll go through my pictures. Summer and a Geek on YouTube, which I haven't posted anything recently. Summer and Geek on Twitter, where I still tweet about the things. Summer and Geek on Twitch TV, where you can see the VODs of the TLDEF charity stream that I did over the weekend and playing Dead Cells. And that's it for me.
And Julie has her misandry animals and her Crypt Crafter and anarchist memes. And she's a landlord, so we're going to have to kill her at some point.
Yes.
As for me, I also do my Dungeons and Dragons podcast, Dungeons and Debacles. Totally different. Heck of a lot of fun.
I'm fucking enough. I really need to poop. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Eat poop, take a poop. It's the circle of
Yes,
life.
exactly. Poop ice cream.
Bye, Marilyn.
Yay.
Bye,
All
Marilyn.
right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Okay, and let's go ahead and end the stream right